thought forms and fantasies, dreams and visualization during dhyana, the difference. So what really happens is, why is dhyana important and visualization after dhyana important? And what is the difference? When it comes to a lay person, the entire life he just keeps fantasizing about things, random fantasies about fulfilling certain desire. Why does a fantasy not come true? A fantasy cannot come true because there is no faith in it. There is no belief in it. There is no intensity in it. So, for anything that needs to be acquired, there needs to be a certain amount of belief and intensity of energy put into that. There's a reason effort is required. Effort takes people into that place of deservingness. So, what is a fantasy? Fantasy is just a random imagination. It ends there. It's like a small puff of air moving out of you, and it just dissipates and dissolves in the air. When it comes to dreams, dreams again have intensity, different kinds of intensity. There are certain dreams which become nightmare. They remain with people. Why? Because the intensity of energy, of emotion is added to that. Suppose somebody who lives in a lot of fear will have nightmares where the person will get extremely fearful. So the intensity of emotion is so strong that the person actually feels that he is living through that. Even in these dreams, people burn karma. People have the capacity to add more to their karma. So that's the reason a yogi does not sleep much. There are certain yogis who do not sleep at all. Just because of this, they want to remain in that state of awareness, consciousness, so that everything that happens with their will. But for a normal person, it is impossible. And a person who is a sadhaka, when he gets into a state of dhyana, when he gets into a deeper state of dhyana, what really happens is the thoughts become less, the thought waves become less, so the dissipation of energy is very less, and from that space of availability of energy, that person starts to create something for himself, a future for himself. So this does not remain an imagination now. That imagination is added, it has that added substance or that fuel of prana, because the more he conserves that prana shakti for this particular thought, for this particular desire to be fulfilled, there is a thought form that leaves the sadhaka. This thought form actually moves out of him. It depends on how far will this thought form move into space, into the atmosphere, into the universe. It depends on the intensity of prana shakti the person has. So this prana shakti comes from where? This prana shakti comes from regular sadhana. If a person meditates on something on a regular basis, that form over a period of time gathers more energy and more density to it. So once you have imagined something from a deeper state of dhyana consciousness, you have created that, and that remains. It does not just fizzle away or dissolve. Now, on a regular basis, if you are adding more energy to it, every time you sit for dhyana, you are still visualizing that particular thing. You are adding more of your fuel to that. You are adding more of that dense energy to that. So this layer upon layer upon layer upon layer gets thickened, and that starts to materialize. So that is the difference between a fantasy and a sadhaka who does dhyana and makes his future happen. Again, the aspect of karma comes into play. Now, according to the karma that the person has to live out in this lifetime, he will have to go through it. So what does this effort of his dhyana do then? So the effort that he is putting in, he is creating a new future for him, but that does not mean the past karma will not come and become a hindrance. So if this past karma comes and becomes a hindrance, and this person still manages to, because it will shake him, because this past karma will have to have a repercussion on him, will have to have an effect on him. So his sadhana will be in a state of weakness at that point in time. It's like in Hindi they say bhang ho gaya, ठीक है. So अब किसी का साधना भंग कैसे होता है? तो एक कर्म है, तो कर्म वो वैसे सिचुएशंस ला देती हैं जहां पे आपका साधना भंग हो जाता है और वहीं पे टूट जाता है. लेकिन अगर फिर भी वो साधक उसी चीज को पाना चाहता है तो फिर वो अपना जुटाएगा सब कुछ और फिर आके बैठेगा ध्यान में और फिर वो कोशिश करता रहेगा. अब ये कोशिश करते 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 होता ये है कि वो जो उसने डिजायर पकड़ा हुआ है, वो डिजायर जो उसने यूनिवर्स में छोड़ा हुआ है, अब उसको मैग्नेटाइज इतना ज्यादा कर देता है कि वो जो फ्यूचर है, डिजायर जो है, उसमें और इसके उस डिजायर को जीने में बहुत ज्यादा अंतर नहीं रह जाता. सो नाउ the adding of fuel every day on a regular basis increases the potency of this thought form, and this thought form gathers prana shakti. The same happens with deities also. If there is somebody who's a sadhaka and meditating on a deity, every day he is adding more to that through his bhakti, through his faith. Now that thought form of that deity, because whenever a person remembers the deity, even it is the quality of that deity that he remembers. So now if somebody is remembering Hanumana by chanting Hanuman Chalisa on a regular basis, what really happens is the thought form of Hanumana becomes available to him, and every day he puts his pran shakti into that thought form. So now there comes a point where it is said that sadhana आपका पूरी तरीके से पक गया है. तो जब साधना पूरी तरीके से पक जाता है तो आपको दर्शन होता है. तो अगर जो इंसान हनुमान जी की साधना कर रहा है, उपासना कर रहा है, तो हनुमान जी अब दर्शन देने के लिए तैयार हैं, क्योंकि अब यहाँ से एनर्जी गया है, इसके भीतर से वो एनर्जी गया है. उसने इतना प्राण शक्ति उस चीज में, उस डेटी में झोंक दिया है कि अब जितने भी लोगों ने पास्ट अपने प्राण शक्ति इस फॉर्म में झोंके थे, वो सब अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं. अब वो हनुमान जी का जो रूप है, जो फॉर्म है, वो पूरी तरीके से शक्ति में आ जाती है. अब वो फॉर्म शक्ति में जब आ जाती है तो दर्शन होता है. So that is what happens. So darshan, when it comes to darshan, it does not mean just a deity. Darshan is also the darshan of your future, the thing that you wanted in your life at that point in time. Now आपने उस चीज को सार्थक कर लिया, तो अब आप उस चीज के लिए अवेलेबल हो जाते हो जहां पे उस डिजायर को जीते हो. So that's how a desire is fulfilled when it comes to somebody doing sadhana and fulfilling this. Effort is required. Without effort, everything just remains fantasy. It is like a puff of air moving out of you, a fragrance that will die out very soon. It will not be carried forward for the others to have that fragrance. So that is the reason sadhana is so important, extremely important. Without sadhana, nobody can get anything in life. There is no golden spoon available to anyone. There is no man or woman born with that golden spoon. If there is somebody who is born with that golden spoon, it is the past effort of the person, which we cannot pinpoint saying that, okay, this person got this because he was born in a certain family. He deserved to take birth in that family because of his past karma. So all of this understanding needs to be put in place so that it does not just remain understanding, it becomes knowledge, and this knowledge can be used for a real experience. Until and unless anything is experienced, it cannot be true. But these are truths of the past which always remain as evidence for us to move on the path. Somebody else has reached the Himalayas. The story of that person reaching the Himalayas has come to my ear. It is already there. So everything that is in imagination of anyone in this world is already there. The universe just gives it enough energy for it to come completely alive. There is nothing in this world that is impossible. Nothing in this world. Everything that can be imagined comes true. The gods that we talk about, they are right here, right now. The deities that we talk about, they're right here, right now, available to us. So all that needs to be done from our end is, we need to put in enough effort to reach that place of deservingness to get darshana of that deity or that desire.